name is Eddy. I'm the managing partner of leks&co, a multi-services law firm in Jakarta, Indonesia. On this session, I will share my knowledge and experience about goals. And I will also share my knowledge and experience about some of the key results area that is very relevant to lawyers as profession. So let's begin. We understand that some people have goals, some people do not have goals. Sometimes we hear that, yes, I have goals, but it is in my mind. But when we are talking about goals, it is very essential that we differentiate the goals that are only in our mind to goals that are really put in writing, in a concrete form. That will make huge difference between just a goals in our mind and goals in writing. So before we move forward, let's talk about the definition of a goal. What is a goal? My definition says that a goal is something that we want to achieve. As simple as that. And to have goals, we have to set the goals. The goals will not be automatically set. We really have to intentionally set the goals. So what is goal setting? Goal setting is a formal process during which you define targets that you plan to achieve. When you set goals, you commit to outcomes that will be accomplished personally. So the question is, why we need goals? We need goals to know where we are going. This is very important. To have a direction in our life. To have a meaningful life. To get a satisfaction in achieving something that we want. And to be happy. So if we see and hear the importance of goals, we are aware now that goals are very essential to our life. With goal, we have a direction. Without goal, we just follow the crowd, we just follow the community, we just follow most of the people, but we don't really have a destination. Where do we want to go? Where I want to go? Where I want to be tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, 1 year from now, 10 years from now. If we don't have goal, if we don't set goal, we just follow the crowd, we just conform to most of the people. Okay, when we talk about goals, it's only it's always returning again to SMART principle. So a goal must be SMART. What are they? SMART, S stands for specific. You can describe in detail your goal. And you have to be very specific on what you want. If you say that I want to have a lot of money, or I want to move to a bigger house, or I want to buy a BMW, it's not specific. How much money do you want? It has to be clearly set. Let's say that I want to earn 1 billion rupiah by 31st December something. Or I want to have a BMW red car 3 Series 318i. So it's very specific. Or I want to buy a house in Tibet area with a land area 100 meter squares, building area 200 meter squares, with a value of so billion rupiah by the time of. So it needs to be specific. Measurable. You can measure the goal using either quantitative or qualitative assessment. So measuring goals is important to know where we are, when are we going to achieve our goal. So from the starting point until the completion point. If we cannot measure the goals, we don't know where we are right now or where we are going to be at a certain period after now. That's why it needs to be measurable. For example, if you are a sportsman and you have a Nike Plus application in your iPhone, the application will will record your run, and it will record how many kilometers that you have run, on what date, and what is the total kilometers that you have run. So it is clear. So every day there is a daily kilometers, there is a daily calories that are spent, and there is also a total of the kilometers that you have run. So it is clear. If you set the target for 100 kilometers, for example, and you only have 50 kilometers, then it is clear that you still have the remaining 50 kilometers that you need to reach. So that is measurable. Achievable. You can achieve the goal. So setting a goal is also have to be achievable. It is not out of your imagination or wild imagination that is really impossible to achieve. But when I'm saying this, it does not mean that you need just a simple goal or a low value goal. It does not mean that. You still have to have a high goals that is really impressive for you and really make you really passionate to reach the goal. But still, you have to believe that it is achievable. It is not something that is out of ordinary. Realistic. So this is very related. Achievable and realistic. The goal is realistic given existing constraints such as time and resources. So when we say it's achievable, it is not on imaginary basis. But when we talk about realistic, you have to think. Let's say that you set the goal for 1 year that you will earn 1 billion rupiah. But is it possible? Or is it logical? Or is it realistic that you will achieve your goal within 12 months? So you have to be honest on what is your position at this moment. Maybe you only earn maybe 10 million rupiah per month at this moment, but your goal is to have 1 billion rupiah by the end of the 12th month. So is it possible? Is it realistic? You have to answer that by yourself when you set goals. The last point is T. T stands for time frame, time limited. So you must achieve the goal within a specified time frame. This is very important. If you don't have time frame, you don't have the patience to achieve the goals as soon as possible, as soon as the time frame that is set by you yourselves. But if you have, and if you already set the time frame, it will push you, it will empower you, it will motivate you that on a certain day you will have to achieve those goals, and it will push you daily, monthly, weekly, or quarterly, that there are something that you need to do that are measurable to achieve the goals on a specified time frame. So, SMART principle is simple: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time frame. So understand these 5 points, and every time you make goals, just follow the rules of SMART. You know, in my experience, in my personal experience, it is sometimes not easy to set goals, because personally sometimes we do not have goals in our mind, or maybe we have goals but it is not specific yet. It is still fuzzy and just in our imagination. So we really need to spend time to make goals. The best time for me is by the end of the year, before I start for the new year. I reflect myself, I see all the goals that I have planned before for the last year. I review how many goals that I have achieved, how many goals that I have not achieved, and then I will set goals for the upcoming year. What am I going to achieve for the next year? And by the time, from time to time, it is easier for me to be more specific when I set goals. When I started to set goals, it was not very easy at that time. But since I always practice myself, I always try to set goals, my mind is trained to set goals properly. So it is imperative, I think, for you to train yourself, to exercise yourself. Set goals. Even though at the beginning it will be hard, just set goals, just put it in writing. That is an initial step. And by the time flies, by the time goes, you can revisit your goals. You can modify your goals. You can revise your goals to make it better according to the SMART principle. So, when you set goals, there are some items that you need to be aware of to make you focus. So you can set goals on your education. You can set goals on your financial aspects. You can set goals on your health aspect. You can set goals on your family aspects, on your career aspects, on your spiritual aspects, or on any other fields, other topics, other subjects that you want to achieve. These are just the examples, but this is a good examples to start. So just think on education, for example. What hard skills or what education, what is the level of education that you want to achieve this year or within 2 years from now? Just think about it. From your financial point of view, how much money you would like to earn this year? And how much money you would like to earn 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Health. What is the level of health that you want to achieve? Do you want to have a fresh body, fresh mind? You want to live longer? So those are the things that will relate to your health. And then you set goals. Eat more vegetables, less carbs, or you can exercise daily. You can run daily, 2 kilometers per day, something like that. So those are the general goals. But for lawyers, I also have in leks&co, we have set key results area for lawyer. So I will share the key results area on this session so that you know what items that you can look for as lawyer. Because because according to the Harvard research, there are only few areas that you need to maintain and develop for each profession. There are key results area for sales, there are key results area for doctors, there are key results area for directors, CEOs, CFOs, there are key results area for lawyers. So this is just our thought about the key results area. So this is not a dead end spot. So this can be further utilized or further improved. But at least this is what we have at this moment. As lawyers, we see that there are 6 essential skills that we need to have. The first is communication. Communication in oral and in written. So what is communication? We define it like this: speaks clearly, fluently, and in a compelling manner to both individuals and groups. Writes, drafting in a clear and concise manner, using appropriate grammar style and language for the reader. Has vast understanding on vocabularies, particularly on legal terms. So the communication relates to how we speak, how we communicate orally and in writing, and also relates to our drafting skills as lawyer. Because communication in writing is very important when we talk about our profession as lawyer. The second aspect is decision making. Identifies a variety of alternatives before selecting a course of action, weighs advantages and disadvantages of each alternative, and chooses a logical course of action based on available information and reasonable assumption. So decision making is also very important. It's not only for the lawyers, but for most of the professions. If we cannot decide, it will be problematic for us, because we may keep on delay something because we would not dare to decide. But when we have the ability, when we learn how to decide based on facts, not only on feelings, it will be a good skill for us. Fact finding. Knows, the third skill is fact finding. Knows where to obtain relevant information, checks facts and data, retrieves and absorbs information quickly. So as a lawyer, research is part of our job, our day-to-day job. When we have to when our client requests something that we need to answer, we need to see, we need to read in the books, relevant books, in the regulations, in the law. Or sometimes we have to go to the government officials to clarify whether our understanding is correct or not. So research is part of our job. It's very important to have research skills. This relates to fact finding. When we have a litigation cases on a certain issues that we need to check what is the legal jurisprudence, what was the previous court decisions with regard to this, what is the legal doctrine. So it is all related to fact finding. So that's the third key results area. The fourth is planning and organizing. Organizes and schedule events, activities and resources, sets up and monitors timescales and plans. Each lawyer has to be able to plan properly, because lawyer has to juggle with many types of works during the day. Sometimes 2, 3, sometimes 5 clients, 5 matters that a lawyer needs to do during the day. So it is very important to plan before you do anything. Planning and prioritizing are very important. It will save your time when you do the work. If you plan properly, you can do more efficient and more effective the job that you need to do. But if you do not plan properly, you may be confused on what is the priority, what is less priority, what do you need to do in the morning, what do you need to finish as soon as possible, or what can be pending. And this is also very related to project management. when you manage a project, for example, like a commercial dispute resolution project, arbitration cases, or when you manage a merger and acquisition cases, for example, is acquisition, there are certain time frames of legal due diligence, of legal drafting of transaction documents, completion, and then after completions. So those are the things that you need to manage. If you are unable to plan properly, it will be very hard for you to complete the deal nicely. So that is planning and organizing. The fifth is problem solving and analysis. Analyzes issues and breaks them down into their component parts, makes systematic and rational judgment based on relevant information. This is very relevant to decision making. But we do not decide when we prepare legal opinion, for example. That is the part when our analysis comes in. How do we analyze the issues based on the fact finding that we have, based on the legal doctrines, legal basis and everything. We compile everything, we gather everything, and then we analyze, and then we conclude. This is the conclusion. This is the legal conclusion about the case. So, problem solving and analysis are very important skill for lawyer. The last but not least is specialist knowledge. Has background knowledge and thorough grasp of products and services. Has expertise in one area. So when we talk about specialist knowledge, we talk about specialization. It is not enough only to know law in general or just on the tip of the iceberg. We have to dig down. We have to dig deep. We have to know why is the clause like this. What is the reasons for it? And we do not need to be expert on everything. Just choose what you really like. Because we have so many practice areas in law, from real estate law, M&A, mining, oil and gas, commercial dispute resolution, labor, foreign investment. So there are many practice areas, and it keeps on developing because the world is developing, the human necessity is developing, so the practice areas keeps on improving. So just choose what you are passionate, which one that you have really passion, and then focus on that. Read subjects on that field. Write on that subject. Discuss the subject or give a presentation. Speak about the subject. And then you will be better. You will attract clients, colleagues, friends that are aware that you are specialized on that field, and so the network of your influence will be bigger and bigger, and that makes you to learn more and more about your specialized area. So have a specialization is very important, and I think it's non-negotiable. On this kind of world, you really need to have something that you are really good at. So this is the goals. I have presented to you the goals using the 5 items on SMART. That is very important for you to know, understand, and you exercise from time to time so you can set proper goals according to the SMART principle. I also shared to you about the key results area of lawyer: communication, decision making, fact finding, planning and organizing, problem solving and analysis, and specialist knowledge. keep on improving on these 6 key results area, and you will be a better lawyer, or maybe the best, one of the best lawyer in your field. I'm Eddy Lex. Thank you very much.